Hey everyone, and welcome to the Retro channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at something a little bit different. I have some PlayStation 2s on the bench. There's two fat PS2s and two slim PS2s. All of them are in various states of not working, and hopefully by the end of this video at least one of them might work. We may also discover a hidden surprise, so stick around and let's get stuck into it. We'll start off with the slim PS2s. So these are the two slimline PS2s. One of them I haven't even tested yet, and there is a good reason for that. If we look at the back of these, you'll notice a pretty big difference over here. This one is missing the actual power input jack, but it looks like the rest of the internals are still in there. So yeah, not 100% sure what's going to happen with that one. This one here looks fine, and it actually powers on, but if we look closely inside there, you may be able to spot some signs of rust in there. So yeah, that is not a good sign. Let's just power this one on, I'll show you what it does. Oh, and the other minor issue is I don't actually have a power supply for the slimline PS2, so we're going to need to feed it 8.5 volts, and it wants at least 5.3 amps. I've got a little adapter that actually fits the plug, but obviously it's not a power supply. I'm going to hopefully use the bench power supply for that. Right, a little bit tricky to measure, but the bench supply is putting out 8.5 volts, and this is wired for center positive, so we should be good to go. I'm gonna have to bump the current up on the bench supply, and it tops out at 5.2 amps, so it should be close enough. I have a red power indicator, which turns green. Bench supply is making a bunch of noise, but yes, the PS2 does boot up. Now the big issue, of course, is this laser. It's not doing anything at the moment, but watch what happens when I try and insert. Let's just grab a CD. Do I have a remote around here somewhere too? Oh, okay, so now it's actually working. The last time I tried it, the laser just moved back and forth along the sled and didn't read anything, but looks like it's actually working now. Let's see if it'll play a CD. You may not be able to hear that over the bench supply, but it is actually playing an audio CD. See if we can play the last track on there. Yep. It now seems to be working. Either way, I need to open this thing up and give it a good clean out, I think. Oh, and for the test discs, I'm using like really scratched up, pretty rough discs. I don't want to use like a perfect disc and say, oh, everything works just fine, because yeah, ideally you want something that's going to put up a challenge for the laser. This one is not working. This is, I think this one's actually like a half decent copy of, yeah, Mr. Bean's Holiday, but again, it's really scratched up, but a decent laser will actually be able to read it just fine. When you close the door, the laser head moves into the center, and before it was just going into the center and then just banging up against the center spindle, but now it seems to work just fine, and yet it immediately moves back out to the outside when you open the lid. It kind of works, but yeah, it's not reading this disc. Has, however, managed to read a PS1 disc, so seems to be working with CD-based stuff, but maybe not DVD-based stuff. We should be seeing the GT2 intro right now. I don't know if you'll be able to hear that over the bench power supply, but it sounds like the laser and maybe the spindle motors are desperately searching back and forth trying to read this thing, so something is still not right. And even with a perfectly fine DVD that's got no blemishes at all, it's still not working. And the only PS2 game I have on hand is actually one of the CD-based ones, so it's got the blue bottom. May as well give it a try though. Right, managed to read the actual disc. So yeah, it seems to kind of work, but obviously it's not fully working. It's not reading DVDs at all, and it seems to at least struggle a little bit with certain CDs. The bench supply through all this has fluctuated from about 2 to 3 amps at the moment, so yeah, not a huge challenge for the bench supply, it looks. Shut that up for a minute. So CDs mostly work, DVDs don't work at all. I'm not going to worry about picking up a proper power supply for this thing, so we'll just put up with the bench supply, at least not until I know that I can get one of these fully working. Now, of course, as for this one, I have no idea if it works or not because I can't plug it into anything. So maybe we should open up this one, see if this one works. If not, maybe we can make some kind of Frankenstein between the two. The half working one is a 75,000 series and the no power jack one is a 77,000 series. So I'm not sure how compatible all the parts are between these two. I know there are some slight differences between them. Let's take a minute to thank this video's sponsor, PCBWay. PCBWay can handle all your PCB fabrication needs. They also do PCB assembly and they offer 3D printing and CNC machining. I use them for all my PCBs and I've never had an issue, so I highly recommend checking these guys out. And you can get prototype PCBs from only $5, so do check out PCBWay in the links below, and we thank them for sponsoring today's video. So let's open up the no power jack one. Just need to pop some of these feet off and it should reveal our screws. Well, that corner doesn't have a screw. That's pointless. Right, these two corners don't have screws. No point in removing the feet there. Well, it looks like somebody has already broken the warranty seal. So I'm guessing this power jack didn't just get ripped out by itself. Obviously somebody's gone in there. Maybe they've just pinched the power jack for it? Seems a bit weird. Well, at least all the case screws are the same. That's always nice. Right, there's no hidden ribbon cables, so here we go. Yeah, everything appears to be there apart from the power jack. Really bizarre. Excuse me. Yes? Seems somebody was desperate to come in here. You gonna fix this for me? Come on. Here you go. This is Hank. Hank is taking up my seat at the moment. Do you have a plan, buddy? No, don't make yourself comfy there. Where am I going to sit? Excuse me. I need that seat. Hank likes to come in here and just sleep under the benches. I think if I just remove this little IR sensor and the, I think it's the power button, this should pretty much just lift straight out. Oh, and that screw. Which is different from the rest. All right. So, what happened? All right, well, somebody definitely desoldered it. I can see evidence of flux residue there. And yeah, there's sort of hints of rust or dirt or something. Ugh. What I'm going to do is just hook up the bench supply to this spot where the power jack was and see what it does. Let's just have a quick look. Make sure there's no obvious short across the power supply or something. 30 something mega ohms. Yeah, it looks like I'm just charging up a capacitor there. All right. So I just soldered on a little bit of wire just so I can easily get to the positive connection. And yes, I am using the illegal colored wire for this job. Call the police. Bench supply is limited to 200 milliamps at the moment, but we do have a power LED, so I'm fairly confident that we can try and power this on. Let's bump up the current. Let's go up to 1.5 amps just to see. I don't think it'll actually manage to boot at that low current. So yeah, needs more current. Well, at 2.5 amps, it looks to be booting and nothing is going up in smoke, so probably safe to allow it the full 5 amps. The big question is it putting out a signal? It is. That seems to work. There is something wrong with the video output though. There's random vertical sort of checkerboard lines through it. That's a little strange. Do have sound though. Not going to be able to hear it over this bloody thing, but it is there. Yeah, something doesn't look right here. I do have to wonder if it'll read a disc though. So there's a switch back here, which I think is a drive sensor, and there's also one on this little board here. So the front of the lid would normally close that switch, and you need to close this switch. So the laser part seems to be working, at least it's moving. Let's see if it'll actually read a disc though. Cool, audio CD. I've got both hands full, so I can't actually get the remote to play something. It's a lot more efficient, this thing, at least it would seem. The bench supply is only drawing about 1.7 amps. With the slightly older model, it was drawing about 2.5. It is actually playing the CD. Will it play a DVD? Come on. That's what I really need it to do. No. Oh, maybe. Now if I can just... Come on, man. You just read the... Alright, so it seems happy enough reading like a decent quality DVD, but a scratched up one, it's not happy. But yeah, still that issue with the video output, which with that there makes this system kind of useless at the moment. Alright, so I spent a bit of time poking around at the 7700 board and got absolutely nowhere with it. I think the glitchy video output is probably an issue with the CPU or GPU, and yeah, everything's pretty much consolidated into one IC on this board. I did find a couple of electrolytic caps that were a bit marginal, so I swapped them out with some just regular radial leaded caps. That didn't make any difference, so I took my caps back, damn it. Anyway, yeah, I don't think there's any hope for this board. I did also test it out with component video output and also with one of these PS2 to HDMI dongle, which basically uses the component video output and converts it to HDMI. Nothing changed. Yeah, the glitchy video is definitely in the actual generation of the video signal and not the output as such of the video signal. So it's not a cable issue or anything like that. I reckon it's going to be an issue with the CPU. So yeah, not much can be done here. The drive isn't really that great either, so what can you do? Yeah, there is a bit of rust. That's actually, it's stuck under this plastic shield, so something's crept in there, but yeah. Looking around at the board, I couldn't see anything obvious, and it's not the kind of thing that is easily troubleshootable. So, I popped the top off the 7500 Series 1. Everything looks to be okay. There is bits of dust and dirt everywhere, and obviously this this rust under this laser mechanism isn't great, but I don't think that's causing the issue. Dare I say it's going to be a fault with the DVD laser diode. But let's give it a quick clean up, see if that makes any difference. I'll blow all the dust out of here, give the lens a little bit of a clean, see if that brings it back to life. But dare I say it's going to be a new laser for this one. Alright, the loose dust is out. There's still a bunch of dirt and grime in there, but I'm not going to bother pulling this whole thing apart if the laser unit isn't going to work anyway. Let's just give the lens a little clean with some 99% IPA. Just gently. And then we'll use the other side just to dry it up. See if that makes any difference. Alright. Just quickly try it with the CD first. I'm pretty sure this is going to work just fine. Yeah, I'd say that's fine. The Challenge DVD. Really doubt it's going to read this. I can hear the laser lens sort of bopping up and down, but yeah, it's not even trying to read it. Well, it's trying to read it, but it's not getting anywhere. No shit. So as it currently stands, this machine is only good for reading CD-based media. Who knew that a remote wasn't good for playing games? So I think for this one, I'll order a new laser assembly, put that in. If it all works out, then I'll actually pull this thing apart and give it a proper clean out. But for now, there's no point messing with it. And in case you're wondering, these do both use different laser assemblies, so no hope there either. So, seeing as we had no luck with either of the slim units, what about a couple of fat PS2s? This one is a bit odd. As you can see, somebody has put whiteout or something over the P. No idea what's going on there, but I think I can kind of see the actual text underneath, so who knows? People do weird shit. This one is a 5000 series. Everything looks fairly normal with it. And the other one is also a 5000 series. They're both the same. Both of them appear to have been opened previously, so not taking them back for warranty, I guess. This one is missing the front door, and it looks like it's cracked a little bit there. It's also got some stuff rattling around inside, so I'm reluctant to plug this in before I actually open it up and see what's floating around in there. This one I did try and power on. Let's just try again, see if it does any different. Yeah, no power, not even a light or anything. So let's open these up. I might start with the one that's got stuff rattling around inside, see what's going on. It's also missing some feet. 2 different length screws, a longer one at the front that's silver. Is that normal? Suppose I can find out with that one. Yes, well, while I'm at it, may as well take the screws out of this one too. That one can wait. All right, what is rattling around in here? All the posts look to be intact, so it doesn't look to be a post. Let's just see if something falls out. A little bit of plastic. I'm sure there was a bigger rattle, but it might be lodged somewhere that we can't see now. Well, nothing in the base but a bunch of dust. Oh, hang on, there's another broken bit of plastic. These could all be off the drive door. Don't see anything else there though. Right, well, really all I see in here is just a bit of dust, but no other loose parts from what I can see. So I guess we should power this thing up. Now, because I don't completely trust this one, I'm going to run it through the dim bulb tester. This is going to work to limit the current that's available to the actual machine. So it's not going to stop it from exploding if it wants to, but it'll sort of lessen the blow, I guess. It's still going to receive the full 240 volts that we have in Australia, but it's going to be limited by how much current can actually flow through this light bulb, which is a 60 watter. So it's probably, the bulb itself is probably actually too low to power this machine up properly, but at least we'll be able to see something. And yeah, so the bulb came on and went back off. So it's currently limiting all the current that can get to this, but I can see the red power LED is on. I think if I try and power this up, get a green light, and yeah, the bulb lit up and then went off. So it's not trying to explode, it's just being limited by the dim bulb. So that's all I wanted to do. Sometimes when I don't trust something, I'll just bring out the dim bulb just to see, make sure it doesn't explode in a fireball. Right. Dim bulb's out. Let's power this up. Driver's not happy. Fan is spinning though. Oh, look at that. We have a picture. And it looks like a half decent picture. Do these ones? Yes. I think the really early PS2s don't support the remote control out of the box, but looks like the 5000s do. That's a good sign. All right, cool. Yeah, picture looks fine. I don't like the sound of that drive, but it ejected fine. The tray is very wobbly, and just touching it makes it go back in. Let's just throw in one of the crappy discs first. If it gets stuck or something, I won't be too concerned. That doesn't look good. Doesn't sound good either. Nope. So, no go with CD-based media. Hey, I wasn't done with you. I said... Not that one. God damn it. I'll be if the DVD part works. Oh, what? So for this one, the CD stuff doesn't work. The DVD stuff does, possibly. This is the really scratched up disc, so it's going to prove to be a challenge for it. But that seems to work. Aspect ratio is wrong, but this is a 4:3 screen, so yeah. So the DVD side appears to work, the CD side doesn't. Go figure. And it likes to do that. So let's see what's going on inside the other one. Hopefully we'll be able to get something where we have a working board that powers on and a fully working drive out of both of these two. We'll see. Right, well, first thing I notice, the power connector is not connected. Either is the fan. So, why is it not connected? The controllers weren't connected either, it seems. Well, looking at the power supply board, everything looks pretty normal. Maybe somebody pulled this thing apart, was trying to fix it or something, and didn't get anywhere and just didn't bother connecting everything. I can see there is a ribbon cable that is stuck under the expansion bay. That's never good. Oh dear. Yeah, nothing suspicious going on there. Yes, all the drive cables are disconnected as well. What that does mean though is I should be able to just pop this whole thing out. Yep. What's that? Well, there's something you don't see every day. I was not expecting that. So, a PS2 with a Modbo 4.0 mod chip. No idea if everything is connected properly. Maybe that's why. Like, maybe it was a failed install and they just got sick of pulling it apart and putting it back together and didn't bother putting in all the ribbon cables again. But yeah, I did not see that coming. What is going on here? It's like almost the outside of a wire, but there's no wire attached there. Let's have a little look. Well, removing that bit of tape took a wire with it. So dare I say that either wasn't connected or it was poorly connected. The problem is I can't actually tell where that was supposed to go to. Possibly that point there, it looks a little bit shiny. Yeah, I'd have to look up this mod chip to work out where all these things are supposed to be wired to. Everything else, like, appears to be solid. Nothing else seems to have come off the board. Whether or not all the connections are good is another story, but at least the wires aren't floating around from those ones. That's unexpected. Right, so after a quick look online, it does appear that this wire here is supposed to go to that point there. So let me just solder that back on. I need to just scratch up a little bit more of that mask. All right, we are good. These thermal pads could probably do with replacing, but for now, we're just going to put all this back together, see if it works. In fact, I wonder if that 2032 is dead. Surely by now, that's gone. All right, 2.95 volts. That's a surprise. Okay, cool. That tape is gone. Okay, it's not exactly pretty, but it's not my install either, so don't blame me. I have no idea what's going on here. It's like there's wires coming out the side of the drive. It's really strange. It almost looks like they're locking the drawer in place. See if I can get... It's tricky to see on camera, but these go right through into the actual drawer piece through here. That's really weird. They don't seem to be electrically connected to anything. Strange. Can't actually tell if they are like going into the drawer piece because you need power to actually get the drawer mechanism to lift up and slide forward. Oh, while we've got the lid off though. Wonder what happens if I just power it up with the drive disconnected. Maybe that's a better idea. Oh, but it's got the power button on there. Yeah. Let's connect the lot. Right, so I'm guessing all this blue stuff is like hot glue, and whoever did this obviously broke off this piece and tried to glue it back on. So I'm not going to use that for now. I'll just use the controller port off the other PS2. I just realized I forgot to plug in the fan. Oh, and it just fell out. That's all right, we're going fanless for now. No idea if this thing will even work. Okay, maybe we should run it through the dim bulb, just in case. It's currently in the off position. Switch it on. Nothing. Probably a good reason for that. All right. Oh, bulb lit up. Power LED is on. And it did try to start up. And it didn't explode. So let's go straight for the good stuff. Well, it's nice and silent without the fan. All right, let's plug in video. Looks like it works. For now. Let's power it off. Power it on. That doesn't sound good. Ooh, that's different. I'm guessing that's the Matrix or Modbo chip, which I think is based off the Matrix chip or something. I'm not fully up to date with PS2 mods, but okay. Possibly that chip is working then. That's good. The drive does eject. Just going to try and see if I can see what these things are doing. So yeah, they just look like bits of wire that run in towards the drive, but obviously don't connect to the drive tray. They maybe they run along these channels along the drive side here. So maybe they sort of help stabilize this tray. Do a pretty shit job if that's what they're supposed to do. I don't know. Right, well, let's just test it with a regular CD. In fact, no, let's test it with a good, like, quality, decent quality disc. This one's pretty good. As far as I know, this mod does have a side effect of killing the DVD laser if it gets stuck trying to read a disc, so I don't want to put anything in there that's too hard for it to read. It's not reading this at all. Nope. Alright, what about a good DVD? It's just going to be my luck that I'm going to have two drives that read DVDs and not CDs, and one drive that reads CDs and not DVDs. DVD video. Doesn't sound healthy though. Oh, yeah. Unable to read disc. Maybe the whatever kills the DVD lasers in these things from that mod chip, maybe that's already done the damage long ago. So at this point it seems I've got 3 PS2s that at least power up and seem to work. One of them reads CDs and not DVDs, and 2 of them read DVDs. Well, this one doesn't really read DVDs, so one of them reads DVDs, and this one does pretty much jack shit, but it does have a mod chip, which is cool. I have no idea how to actually take advantage of that, but I'm sure I'll learn. So if you know your PS2 mod chips, be sure to leave some tips down below. I'd be interested to hear it. I think the plan is to get a new laser unit for all 3 of them that are running and hopefully get them all back up and working. But I'm not going to bother trying to clean or lubricate the drives or do any of that kind of stuff until I can actually get a fully working system. And then I'll go about, you know, cleaning all these things up. Maybe, I mean, the fans in this series are pretty quiet anyway, so probably no need to go looking for any replacement fans, but definitely a good cleanup. But before I do any of that, I definitely want to make sure that I can get at least one of them fully working and then clean it up and make a pretty one. With any luck, it'll be the one that's already got the mod chip in it. So, yeah, that's my little adventure into PS2 repairs. It kind of worked out. Probably should turn this off before it overheats or something. So that's probably it for the PS2s for now. Until I get some replacement lasers, there's not a huge amount I can do. If you know your stuff and know the PS2 mod chips, be sure to let me know any tips or tricks for it. But until then, I guess we'll kind of leave it here. So yeah, look out for a part 2 eventually once I get some replacement laser units. And we'll dive back into the PS2 world. But as always, thank you for watching. A massive thanks to the people that support the channel on Patreon. And if you want to do the same and get ad-free early access, be sure to check out the links below. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye. What am I going to do with these? Well, at least none of them exploded. It's kind of good. Bang.